Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on the most important aspect of any Vedic astrological chart analysis, which is about decoding your moon. So guys, you must have seen a pattern in my uploads recently that now I'm covering the karmas of all the planets. Very soon I will be talking about how to draw the chart right from the basics. And when it comes down to the moon, so we already have had many discussions on moon's zodiac sign importance or moon's nakshatra as well, but somehow I realized that just because I'm talking about the karmas of the planets, so the placement of the planets in the houses will also become very important, and over there moon becomes the most important aspect, because it's somehow from the moon only we will get to know about your thought process. We will get to know about in which specific area of your life your priorities are going to be attached, what specific area of your life your personality is very attached with. All of that we get to know just merely giving attention to where moon is placed in your natal chart. And in this video we will try to get into the deeper side of it. We will try to look at this moon, if it is going to be placed in different houses of your natal chart, what does it tell about your priorities, what does it tell about your personality. And whenever like any major transit is going to be taking place, this could be the transit of the Saturn, this could be the transit of the Rahu and Ketu, how your subconsciousness is going to be getting affected because of that. All of that we will try to figure out in this video. And yes guys, if you're already living in Vancouver, I have already started forming a batch and giving in-person classes. If you want to book your consultation, so the link is there in the description section. For enrollment for any of the online classes as well, you can write it to me. So now we will start our discussion. So guys, like the way you know this thing that moon somehow tells about your personality. Moon tells about your thought process. It tells about your priorities, along with the kind of nourishment which you have received from your mother. It also tells about your early formative years, sanskaras and all. Moon also tells about your interest in the travels. Moon tells about to what extent you have the capacity to imagine, and that is the only reason a lot of the artistic and creative genius have been found with moon to be placed in a very accentuated state. Just because guys, moon has this tendency to wax and wane, so the influence of the moon in whichever house it is going to be placed, it can actually bring a lot of fluctuation in the matters of that house as well. And guys, if you will go by the Vedic astrological way, like the way if you are a typical Western astrology follower, then that is a different case. But if you are even inclined towards Vedic astrology, so all the 5 limbs of the moon will become very important. You do not only have to restrict it to the moon sign or to the moon nakshatra, but also the tithi, var, yog, karan, all of that becomes very important. And guys, in the case of the moon, the more moon is strengthened as per its phase, the better it is going to be. So we know this thing that when a moon is already close to the time of the full moon, so that moon will be considered as strengthened, and a moon which is going to be close to the time of the new moon, that moon is going to be considered as a little bit weak. So now after that, now we will start placing moon in different houses in your astrological chart, and we will get to know that in which specific area of your life your emotions are going to be attached. Guys, understand this thing that even today, majority of the Vedic and traditional astrologers in India, they do majority of their prediction only from the moon sign. So the point which I'm saying over here is that the 3 most important attribute or pillar of your chart are your ascendant, your moon sign and your sun sign. From the ascendant, we get to know about the physical features and the actual happenings of the events in our life. From the moon, we get to know about that whatever event will happen, how you will perceive it, and that part of destiny which is very difficult to evade, that we generally see from the moon sign. And that is the only reason Sadesati and the transit of the Rahu and Ketu is generally seen from the moon. And when we talk about from the sun sign, so that tells about the impact which planets brings, life brings on our soul level. So okay, let's just start our discussion. Now if you will find that moon is going to be placed in your first house, in your ascendant. So guys, this placement of the moon will make someone's personality very emotional, very nurturing. The more moon is going to be closer to the ascendant degrees, the more you will find and you will perceive the moon qualities in someone's personality, that this person is going to be like a person might have those kind of very round face, very watery eyes. A person might have those kind of very maternal, nurturing, empathetic vibe around this person. This person might be very much fond of travels. This person might be very imaginative as well. And like, see, generally guys, what we say with the benefic planets is that the influence of the benefic planet somehow makes our personality likable. It makes our personality very relatable. Like the way, for example, if someone is going to have like Mars and Saturn and Rahu and Ketu in the first house, these are those kind of people who tend to have very strong likes and dislike, and their aura, their energy does not get along very well with everyone. But people who have natural benefic planets in their first house, like this could be Moon, this could be Mercury, this could be Venus, this could be Jupiter, that makes someone's personality very likable. So regarding that front, the placement of Moon in the first house is considered as very good. Like, you can trust this person. Now let's move forward. Now, if you will find the placement of the moon in the second house of someone's astrological chart. So guys, this generally tells about that the person is going to be very soft spoken. This also tells about that in natives' early formative years, mother might have played a very significant role. Third thing is that this person could be a very good foodie as well, like people who are very fond of food. And I have also seen a lot of the people who have interest in the restaurant business or the food business with the placement of moon in the second house. And along with that, guys, you have to see this thing that whatsoever planet gets placed in the second house, the qualities and the attributes of that planet also contribute to our income as well. Like this could be a case that this person might have a nursing home, this person might be a sailor, this person might be connected with Navy, this person might have a business of the mineral water bottles, or this could be the milk related products, dairy products and all. So all of that can be seen. The only concern is that, like the way I mentioned, wherever moon is placed in your chart, the attributes and the signification of that house fluctuate. So moon's placement in the second house a lot many times have been seen that the matters of your financial savings and the income and the flow of the income generally goes through a lot of the fluctuation, ups and downs. But guys, the good part is that with this kind of placement, native tend to remain very emotionally attached to his family, to his tradition, culture, and whatsoever teaching has been given to this person growing up, that stays with the person for a very long span of time. Now move forward. Let's say if you will find moon's placement in the third house of your astrological chart. So guys, third house, which is the house of your like your friends, your younger siblings. So the very first thing is that with this kind of placement of the moon in the third house, it makes a person very attached to his friends and towards his younger siblings. Like this could be a brother who is like very caring, like a maternal kind of influence this person brings on towards his siblings and all. Along with that, guys, third house also tells about the journeys and the short travels as well. So if you're going to have moon being placed in the third house, that also gives you heightened interest in the travels as well. Guys, third house also tells about your hobbies and all, extracurricular activities and all. So somehow the good part with this placement is that any of these kind of extracurricular interest generally act as a therapy or rejuvenation or relaxation tool for this person. Like whenever this person after work will take interest in going for gym or going for playing badminton or something, that will actually rejuvenate or relax this person the most. And guys, in today's modern age, when we talk about like those kind of people who cannot do a sitting job, they need to be going on different appointments, different meetings. The more they travel, the more they feel therapeutic and rejuvenated. So regarding that front as well, this is generally considered as good sign. Along with that, guys, like if this person is going to be taking interest in journalism, in freelance writing and all. So these are among those people who, whenever they are doing any form of writing or self-expression, they like what you call that, they put their whole emotions and feelings into it. So you can actually feel those kind of feelings in their written emails, in their comments and all. And like the way, guys, for someone to become a very good performing artist or a very good creator and all, the placement of the moon in the third house is generally considered as very good. Now when we talk about if you're going to have moon being placed in the fourth house, so again, guys, over here you will find an overlap, because even in the original Kalpurush Kundli, fourth house belongs to the Cancer sign. So no matter what your ascendant is, no matter what is the moon's zodiac sign is, moon's individual placement in the fourth house is considered as very good. Like that makes a person very emotional, very nurturing, that sort of maternal, nourishing, caring vibe you will find around this person. Like these are among those people who cannot live in a very aggressive or very combative, very negative kind of domestic environment. They actually wants to live in an environment or want to raise a family or being around those people who genuinely care for them. And along with that, guys, all aspect of the fourth house, like mother actually tend to have very significant impact or role in the life of this person. Travels prove out to be very therapeutic, very nurturing for this person. Anything to do with the having a strong command over the public, like for having a very good public career and all. You could be a very good politician as well. It's a very good sign. Something to do with like having interest in merchant navy, in navy, anything to do with the dairy business and all. So even in all those kind of areas, the placement of moon in the fourth house is generally considered as very good. Like the way, guys, I already mentioned this thing. Moon's placement in the ascendant, moon's placement in the fourth house, and generally we say this thing that the natural benefic planets, whenever they are placed in these kind of alignments, they make our personality very trusting. Like this could be a person with whom you could trust with your secrets, with your life's problems. And if you have a friend who has got moon in the fourth house, you will always get those sort of very relaxing, very rejuvenating kind of vibe from the aura energy of that person. Now, guys, moving ahead. Now, let's say, for example, if your moon is going to be placed in the fifth house of your astrological chart. So, guys, we all know this thing that fifth house, which tells about your Purv Punya, anything to do with the yogic practices, mantra sadhana, is generally attached with the fifth house. So the placement of moon over here will give you heightened interest in all these kind of yogic practices, mantra, chanting and all. Along with that, guys, like fifth house also tells about the way our mind function, our memory, our intellect. So the only way I have seen this placement to be creating a vulnerability in the life of the native is that many times people who in their basic education, they go through many fluctuation. Like you wanted to become an engineer first, but afterwards you switched to the arts side, towards the aviation, hotel management side. So many times in many charts I have seen this combination to be working. See, when we talk about your personality being very trusting, very imaginative, you might have very strong artistic, creative talents. Fifth house, apart from the spiritual activities, also tells about all sort of recreational, fun kind of activities as well. Like you could be a very good sports person as well. You might be very popular in your school, in your high school days as well. Like generally the placement of the moon in the fifth house, in the 11th house, gives many lovers as well. It actually makes you very romantic. Again, guys, it has got nothing to do with the typical energy of the combination of the Mars and Venus, which can give you hedonistic lifestyle. It's just like that you have moon in the fifth house. You are very romantic by heart. You know how to impress people, how to say the right words at the right time. So regarding all of that, for even accessing your past life Purv Punya merits and all, like if in any way Ketu is also influencing this moon, or your moon is in the fifth house but it is placed in the Ashwini Nakshatra, Magha Nakshatra, Mula Nakshatra, so then we can say this thing. The only flaw is that when it comes down to the education, that aspect goes through fluctuation. And like the way, guys, I said this thing at the beginning of this video, that wherever moon is placed, your emotions, your feelings are attached to that house. So once you become a parent, you will be a very caring, very doting, very nurturing parent towards your children and all. Moving ahead, guys. Now guys, when we talk about that moon is placed in the 6th house of your astrological chart. So guys, this placement is a fair indication that person is going to be very disciplined, very timetable oriented. You would not believe how many friends of mine have got this moon in the 6th house, and I have seen these people to be very meticulous, not about the work ethics, about punctuality, but also when you go to their place, to their home, you will find everything to be placed in a very prescribed, in a very arranged way. So regarding that, this could be a good placement. This placement also gives your attachment and your strong emotional connection with the pets, with your maternal uncles and the aunts. I've seen in the many charts where people who have got moon in the 6th house, and in some of the early formative childhood years of theirs, they have spent a major portion of time living in their mother's home as well, in their maternal uncle, aunts places as well. Along with that, guys, we all know this thing, that the only reason why the benefic planets like Moon and Venus, they do not like to be placed in the 6th house, because this is the house where there is always a fear of enemies, of credit, of diseases to be troubling us. But again, if your moon is placed over here and it is being well supported, aspected by other planets, so this could be a placement that you might be an expert in giving advice to people how to manage their debts. You could become a very good physician, you could become a very good health and nutrition fitness expert as well, you could become a very good lawyer as well. So in many ways, moon's placement is considered as very good in the 6th house. It will naturally make you very competitive, and generally I have seen is that people who have got moon in their 6th house, somehow in the back of their mind, they are always very vigilant. They are always very alert. Like the way, guys, moon's placement in the 8th house or the 12th house can give you anxiety, that you are always subconsciously fearful of some negative thing can happen. Same way, when moon is placed in the 6th house, it somehow always keeps you very vigilant, very active. Now guys, moving ahead. Now let's say, for example, if your moon is going to be placed in the 7th house. So guys, the good part about the 7th house is that even in the original Kalpurush Kundli, this house belongs to the Libra. Saturn attains exaltation over here. Now Saturn, which represents balance. So the good part about these people is that, first of all, they are going to be very much devoted, dedicated towards their matrimonial life. Like, it will not be an exaggeration to call these people as very family oriented. Second thing is that the placement of the moon in the 7th house also gives a sneak peek or a highlight of your partner's nature as well. So this could be a case that your partner is going to be very emotional, very emotionally attached to you. And along with that, guys, when we talk about anything to do with the commercial success, having a strong edge over the public, like the way, guys, because even if you will apply the Bhavat Bhavam, 7th house becomes so important. From the 10th house, it is the 10th from the 10th. From the 4th house, it is 4th from the 4th. So that means it is the highest of the emotions and highest of the attainment of the title. And if your moon is going to be placed over here, you can balance majority of the areas of your life. Like whether we talk about the attributes from the 1st house till the 6th house, or whether we talk about from the 8th house till the 12th house, you can balance all aspect, all areas of your life. So yes, guys, in many ways, I have seen people to be doing very good in the public domain, commercially very successful, and these are among those people who could be the public's favorite, who are going to have a moon being placed in the 7th house. Now guys, moving ahead. Now let's say, for example, if your moon is going to be placed in the 8th house. So now guys, to begin with, it's not an exaggeration and it's not a secret. You would have read it many ways, other books, and you would have heard in so many resources that moon's placement in the 8th house is not considered as good. Like, it is generally a domain which not only tells about this life, but it also tells about that you are being born in some continuity of the suffering. And that is the only reason it is generally called as the Arishta Yoga. Like, generally people who have got moon in the 8th house, that also tells about that in the early infant years or childhood years, there might have been issues of the immunity, there might have been issues of the health related problem and all. This also tells about if your moon is in the 8th house, your mother might have some sort of psychological concern or mental health related issue. It also creates the vulnerability over there as well. So guys, the good part is that therapy, rejuvenation, water, being in foreign land, doing research, having interest in occult rituals becomes very important for all those people who are going to have moon being placed in the 8th house. Guys, understand this thing that especially for those people who have got moon in the 8th house, living in sync with the nature becomes very important. Now when I say living in sync with nature, so that means it would be much better to always keep a check of the major important transit. Do not indulge into anything whenever in the transit or your running dasha is making you vulnerable. Be very mindful around the time of the eclipse, around the time of the new moon, around the time of the full moon, while taking any important decision. Like always give preference to the panchang or the muhurat. All of that will become very important. And like the way I said, living in sync with the nature. So that means try to wake up as with the sunrise, healthy diet, managing your professional life, your social life, your personal health, your personal happiness. So managing in a balanced way all these things becomes very important. And having some kind of practices or daily ritual which over where you're showing your gratitude to the higher powers will become very important. Again guys, many people say that 3rd house is also the house of difficulty, 6th house is also the house of difficulty, but the good thing is that, or the leverage over there is that 3rd house and 6th house is still something which is in our control. But when we talk about the 8th house, the hidden aspect, the 3rd power, supernatural aspect, something which has been done in the past lifetime, or this could be a case the evil eye of people around us. So all that energy somehow resides there in the 8th house. But if you talk about the good aspect, who wants to work? 2nd house is your own saved up money. 8th house, trust me guys, I have seen people with a strong accentuated 8th house, like they have always remained lucky in the life. Like before they were being taken care by their rich parents, then they got a girlfriend or a boyfriend who was taking care of them. After that, they were the ones who got married to a very rich and wealthy partner and all. So I mean to say, there are so many advantages which the 8th house also has. Guys, the actual form of astrology and something which the world hasn't seen before, like something which is going to be the where we talk about experiencing the or witnessing the miracle, all of that comes from the 8th house. Rest all other houses are somehow something which is out there and we all have seen, but something which tend to remain that surprise element that always comes from the 8th house, something which tend to remain taboo breaking, unexpected, major transformation. And guys, the good part about the moon's placement in the 8th house is that over here moon tend to remain sensitive, prone towards pressure, psychological wounds or threat. But the good thing is that right set of guidance, mentorship, or if this could be a person in the first half of the life, this person has remained very hardcore meat eater, but he gotten in touch with someone very spiritual, and that person insisted that this person should turn into a vegan or a vegetarian person. So any major transformation, the mind somehow adjusts to it. So that is the good part about it, because moon is what your mind is, your thought processes. 8th house is about transformation. So it hardly matters whether your body or your ascendant adjust to it or not, your mind has to accept it. And that sort of acceptance is generally somehow seen when moon is going to be placed in the 8th house. And yes guys, it gives you very deep sense of inquiry, your capacity to transcend to that state which is beyond life and death. All of that attributes are somehow attached with moon's placement in the 8th house. Now guys, when we talk about if your moon is going to be placed in the 9th house, so guys, we know this thing that all sort of good ethics, morals, values are somehow attached with the 9th house. That also tells about that your mother might be very religious, or this could be the similar qualities which your father will also demonstrate, like who is going to be very emotional. And generally it has been seen that life actually takes this person towards all those people who are in a capacity to guide or mentor you, and they give you special preference, like the way you go to a guru's ashram. I'm very much sure that if someone is authentically and legitimately classified as a guru, that person should be looking at all of his disciples and students with an equal way. But somehow if someone is going to have moon in the 9th house, there is a high possibility that this person could become a favorite of his teacher, favorite of his guru. So regarding that, this could be a good placement. Moon also likes to, it's like moon's placement in the 9th house gives you heightened interest in religious activities, pilgrimage, travels. Also proves to be very therapeutic, very rejuvenating for this person. And generally guys, like there is no it's not a secret. Moon's placement in the 9th house also tells about that somehow, even from the past lifetime, you would have indulged into some ethical, righteous deeds only. Moon's placement, especially in the 5th house and the 9th house, and a deeper analysis of the kundli, of the chart, and even taking it to the further divisional chart can also give you this indication that there might be one specific god or entity or cause where native was very much dedicated to. So this could be case, native might be very much devoted to the Lord Shiva from the past lifetime, or he might be a Vaishnav from the past many lifetimes. So all of that can be attached. But guys, the good part is that moon's placement in the 9th house will make you eternally optimistic. Omens, luck factor will always support you. You will demonstrate strong ethics, values and morals, and because of that you will be well respected and well guided in every stage or phase of your life. Now guys, let's say for example, if your moon is going to be placed in the 10th house. So guys, this kind of placement somehow makes your mind attuned towards the goals, towards your duties and responsibilities. So this will not be an exaggeration to say this thing, that this person knows and prioritizes his work responsibilities more than his own comfort, pleasure or happiness. Second thing is that there's a high possibility that you could be the favorite of your bosses as well. There is also a possibility that your nature of work will involve many travels as well. Now guys, the good part is that with this kind of alignment, moon is going to be giving its straight aspect to your 4th house as well. So for doing something very good in the public domain, this is generally considered as a very good placement. So all what I can say is that if individually in the chart, ascendant lord is going to be strengthened, your Saturn is going to be strengthened, and adding with this placement of moon in the 10th house is a fair indication that this person will progress and will have some major accomplishment in his life. Now guys, let's say for example, if your moon is going to be placed in the 11th house of your astrological chart, so that also tells about that you are very much emotionally attached to your friends, you're very emotionally attached to your siblings as well. This also tells about that somehow within your mind you have that sort of drive that I cannot lose, and these all are the goals which I need to attain in the life. Guys, like the way we say this thing, that out of all the house of the desires, the karma triangle, 11th house represents the highest form of the desires. So the good thing is that with this kind of placement of the moon, first of all guys, you would have heard this thing many times in my videos, that I look at the 11th house in altogether different light. There must be some weightage into this house that our ancient like sages and saints and all, they said that this is the house of wish fulfillment. This is the house of your like all sort of desires and all sort of like things which you will be able to attain. But in the modern day context, I call this house as the house of your like success. The kind of approach and attitude you need to follow, the kind of people you need to connect, the kind of groups which you need to be a part of. So all of your social conduct, your behavior, your connections, your contacts, your achievements are generally seen from this house. And those who have moon placed in the 11th house, these are among those people in the back of their mind, somehow they are very clear that, okay, I knew this thing, that I need to become that secretary, I need to become the CEO of that company, I need to start up and build a company someday. So I would say that moon's placement in the 11th house is very good in this regard. And the good thing is that, guys, moon is a very sociable planet. Like moon, Mercury, Venus, they are considered as very sociable planet. So the good thing is that for the success of the native, people around him and the community and the society also plays a very integral role. And if you will find some benefic planets over here, native never hesitate in sharing his good fortune with the less privileged ones as well, and which eventually become responsible for the fame and for the honor and respect in the society. So yes, guys, all what I can say is that if you actually want to help someone who's going to have moon in the 11th house, just keep on reminding this person of his ultimate eventual career goals, and this person is going to be happy. Like the way you would have heard this saying about the carrot and the stick. So with someone who's going to have moon in the 11th house, the carrot will become very important. You need to have a goal you shall be pursuing, chasing consistently. It will always keep your mind satiated or satisfied and fulfilled. That is all what I can say. Now, guys, when we talk about if your moon is going to be placed in the 12th house of your astrological chart, so we know this thing that 12th house, out of the 8th house and the 12th house, 12th house becomes more esoteric, because 12th house represents all those kind of energies which are hidden from us. Like the way, guys, I mentioned this thing that the divinity is there in the 9th house. The rituals which we do from our end to get something, that is the 8th house. 12th house is something, it will not be an exaggeration to say the 12th house as, or prominent 12th house people as the chosen ones. Like the way, guys, I'm sure like in some of the indigenous tribe, I read somewhere in Amazon or in some sort of indigenous tribe, so how they select their leader. When any of the elderly senior chief of the tribe dies, and when they burn that person, his body, and in the direction where the smoke goes, they generally get this indication that that could be the direction where they will find the next chief for their tribe. So I mean to say, and in all these kind of rituals and all, somehow magic, mystery, and universe plays a very integral role. So, and that is the only reason, guys, like when we talk about those kind of healers over there, you need to see someone's hand, you need to see someone's astrological chart. But they are like still those people, those so-called faith healers, who have this capacity to look at your face and start telling about your future and something. When we talk about the highest form of yogic measure, like slowing down your aging process, those sort of out of the body experiences, prophetic dreams, vision and all, kundalini and chakra activation and all of that is only possible because of the 12th house. So I mean to say, a native has this capacity to access all these kind of things. And like the way, guys, I mentioned this thing, this could be a case that in the major portion of the life, the mother's influence in the life might be missing. This person will take a lot of interest in the secrets and the conspiracy theories as well. This could be a case that native find itself in much balanced state when this person is going to be on its own. Like these could be those people who love isolation, who love being by themselves. This could also give you a career in hospitals, you might be deployed in a department, in a policing department, correction centers and all. This will also give you lot many travels and all. And like the way, guys, we say this thing that if your moon is placed in any of the Venusian sign in the 12th house, that also makes your personality very passionate as well. You enjoy sex. So regarding that as well, this placement of moon in the 12th house has got a lot of the attributes attached to it. It all comes down to which kind of other planets are aspecting it, which other planet is conjunct with it, in which zodiac sign or nakshatra moon is placed. That will tell about that with what approach you will pursue the unknown or something which is going to be transcendental in nature. Like all these, like buying houses, properties, vehicle, all of that will not go with us. What goes with us, that resides in these houses, like trine houses, 12th house, and you have this capacity to access those kind of things. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.